Shalom Uvracha, how are you doing? Baruch Hashem, those are wonderful days of Passover that we can see amazing signs while reading the Haggadah and while reading the written prayers in the Sidur's book and the portions from the Bible. We can see a lot of amazing messages of real humility for all of us, real messages from heaven to attach us to the simplicity of faith, to the foundation of a real inner understanding of how really the Creator wants us to do our job. The Creator, we need to remember, is part of us, even though that He is very highly and above and does not belong to physicality, and rules of nature does not apply on Him. He is not forced under them. Different and elevated than us, still we need to remember that, like beams of light that are coming out of the sun, we're holding the same spiritual DNA of the Creator that is our source, that is our life inside of us. The whole world is a world of reflections, and like with a mirror, that you try to see things and it's very hard to see through because the light is being reflected and coming back to your face, and you can see yourself and not like a window. Many times in life it's hard to understand and to see beyond. When you ran into certain situations, when certain things happens to you in life, sometimes you want to get the message, you want to see through it, you want to say, okay, but what is it hinting me? What is it talking about? What's really the purpose of that lesson in my life? But you cannot, because sometimes the reflection is like a mirror and it just blocks the light and bring it back to your face, and you cannot see anything except of yourself. And sometimes that situation can be frustrating and limiting, and a person feels like it's too much, like too many reflections, too many rebukes, too much information about myself. Like I want to see beyond, I want to cross to the next stage, to the next level, to rise and shine. But the reason for that a person cannot see an illuminating reflection, like a window that just allows you an access to a further view, to something that is beyond, is only because that in a way inside yourself you are still selfish and self-centered, and therefore the reflection is blocked and not clear and not open. But when the person will try to accept the lessons, will try to accept the classes that he goes through, then he will see that really he can access a very elevated and godly knowledge and wisdom that the Creator is filtering to him in small portions that he will be able to digest and to understand. Many times we desire things that are too high for us, but if we're going to take things that are smaller, that are more to our level, to our ability to digest and to perceive, then we will rise with that lesson, with that wisdom, to such high levels that no eye ever saw before. For me, it's very important to talk about the reflection of the world, because the Creator Himself, He is shining His true light on every single one of us and talking to us on daily basis, on hourly basis. Every moment of our life there is a lesson, there is a message, there is a talk, there is a conversation, there is a hint, there is a call that the Creator is calling us. And where is He calling us? He's calling us from outside of creation through the creation, means from within. So sometimes the reflections will call you from outside and will speak to your inside, and sometimes the feeling, an inner feeling, a deep awareness to your conscious, to your moral, to your hopes, to your passion, to your desire, will wake you and will call you up to realize that there is a spiritual being that is guiding the world, the Creator Himself. So for me it's very important, because I know that when the Creator started to shine His face upon me and try to call me and connect with me in a loud voice, not in a voice of prophecy or something like that, just that the supervision, the individual supervision of the Creator on my life became very clear, that I saw that there are connections between different life situations, that my thoughts are not only inside my head, just there's also someone outside that can hear them, that can react corresponding to them. And I realized that there is a Creator. So in those days I was the furthest that I was ever in my mind from Hashem, from God. I was not holy, I was not serving God, I was not observant, I was not eating kosher, I was not keeping Shabbat. And still the Creator chose me because of a certain point of honesty in my heart, to reveal Himself to me and to show His loving kindness on me, to me, for me to wake up more. So when I saw that this is the nature of our conversation, that it's not based on my success, just it's based on His loving kindness, on His endless love to me, I realized that that is the inherent, that is the reward of every creation, means the true potential of every person, and not as people usually think that, oh, if I'll be holy, I'll be closer to Hashem. If I'll be more righteous, I'll be closer to Hashem. It does not work like that. You just need to try to be more honest, and then the truth that shines inside your heart will already gonna magnetize the blessing and blessed light of heaven to shine upon you in greater ways. And every person can do that. Every creation is able to do that. Just to play the real silent role of your nature. Means that if you're a singer, you need to sing. Like if music is the flow and spirit that runs in your vein, you must allow yourself to sing and to express it, because for that you've been blessed with that talent. Now if you don't have talents, if you, so to speak, so okay, I understand, you go and search for yourself, go and find yourself. But if you know that something makes you happy, you cannot stop yourself and block yourself from doing that. If you like to dance, you must dance, because you can never know how deep and powerful and meaningful is your dance. Because usually we judge and criticize ourselves, and we think to ourselves that our dance is effective only if people like the way we dance, or only if we danced on a stage or in front of public, I don't know what, like every person with his thoughts. But when the person is connecting his actions to his spiritual world, so then he will realize and he will understand that the awakeness to start dancing, just to think about dancing, was already a hint from heaven, a way of expression of the godly will for you to dance. Means that Hashem has joy and satisfaction from your dance, even if you cannot see it, or else he wouldn't wake you up to want to dance, to have that groove, to have that flow, to have that passion, to move your elbows, your muscles, your legs above, and to jump or to dance or to move in a certain way. All that awakeness is a spiritual awakeness for the godly will, desiring you to jump, desiring you to paint, desiring you to sing. Now you can sing alone in your own house, and that the voices and the words and your intention will break the ceiling, will cross the dimension of physicality, and will make changes in worlds that are beyond your physical reach and your understanding and your ability to grab them. For an example, I'll tell you, let's say that I gave a class today and you enjoy that class, and I will see that you watch that video and I have another view on that video, and I'll be happy. I'll say, okay, wonderful, this person watched my video, and I'll be confident that I affected you in a positive way, and you're happy and I'm happy. Now, what I cannot see that you went with that positivity that you enjoyed, that you took out of my class, and you inspired someone else without sharing the video. I can see the changes in lives people by the video, only by the likes and the shares and the views. But if you took some advice from my class and then you went and just like knocked on your neighbor's door, keeping the social distance, of course, and then inspired him, I'm not aware to that. I cannot see that with my senses, right? But it does affect that way, because if I made you happy, that happiness will go with you and will affect your surroundings, people that are around you, people that are close to you, and I won't be able to see that. So exactly the same is in the spiritual world. If you pray for something, if you dance, if you sing, if you illustrate, if you bring down your thoughts on paper, it doesn't seem like it makes an effect until you're going to print the book and sell few copies. But it's not true. In the moment that you did something, that you expressed your feelings, that you revealed and shared your emotions, in that moment you already made changes in the world, and the world is already affected in a positive way from your work, from your art, from your creativity. And this is why we need to attach ourselves all the time to that simple faith and understanding that the world is a world of reflections, and that the Creator is all the time with us. And if you feel now like eating, don't judge yourself. Why am I eating all the time? No, listen. Maybe Hashem needs those blessings for something. Maybe the creation needs your blessing. Maybe if now you're going to say, Shakol niya bidvaro, borei pri ha'etz, borei pri ha'adama, motzi lechem min haaretz. If you're just going to say those words, maybe something that is supposed to happen will happen. Because you don't know which gates are being opened when you say Shakol niya bidvaro. You don't know what happens in the world when you tell your friend, I love you, I like you, I thank you, I appreciate your friendship. When you do something good in this world, you create a very huge effect that is way beyond your reach of understanding. And for that we need to use faith. And this is why we've been commanded to follow and to believe in God, and not only to know Him. Not only to know Him with the tools of our brain and mind, also to believe in Him. And the faith, the belief in God, is in the nights, is in the gray areas, is in the darkness, in the darkest hours. Faith is in the nights. Faith is that you believe in something that you cannot see. If you can see something, you don't need to believe. You don't need to believe that this is white and that it's a poster. You don't need to believe. You can see that it's a poster. But what's the picture? If I'll tell you now there are a few options, you need to believe me if I'm going to tell you what is printed on that poster. You don't need to believe. You cannot believe that this is a poster. You can see that it's a poster. You don't need me to tell you. But to believe what is the painting, This is something that you must. Now you don't need to believe. Now you know it's our logo. Why? Because you saw it. You don't need to believe. But to tell you that in this logo there are secrets and there are like deep messages, okay, now you need to believe again, because it's something that is beyond your reach. And we are commanded to believe in God, to believe in Hashem. To believe in Him means in those areas that are beyond our reach. And we need to believe that He is there. Means that if you have been woke up to want to dance, to have a desire for certain food, to eat something, you need to wake up and to understand Hashem is with me. Hashem is talking to me. Hashem is waking me up. And sometimes it's for the good and sometimes it's for a better way. Sometimes you need to understand in a deeper way, in a more meaningful way, what exactly Hashem wants from you. Because sometimes He wakes you up to do something and that thing is wrong. And you need to learn that the real message was to stand against your weakness and to stand against your evil inclination and to block it and to stop it outside of your range, outside of your place. And it can be complex, but at least you know that all the time you are in touch with God and you can speak with Him on every difficulty and on any situation that is hard for you. Conversation with God, the simple conversation, simple prayer, is the strongest, most powerful and effective tool that we have to bond and connect ourselves to Him. Because if you're in touch with your friend, how will I know that you're really in touch with him? If I see that you're talking, that you're in touch with him, that you are touching base, that you are connecting, that's the simple way that your relationship is taking place. If you're in touch, if you are talking to each other in any possible way. Now, if you're not in touch, if you're not talking, if you're not communicating anymore, so that connection is gone, that connection is dead. So with the Creator, if you want to be in touch, you need to touch base with, you need to speak with Him. And there are many ways to speak with Him. You can speak with Him like you speak to your best friend, and that's the highest level of them all. You can say everything you want. You can open your heart. You can share your deepest secrets and feelings, and you can count on Him. And you talk to Him, and you explain, and you ask, and you wish, and you express your feelings. And you can also you can use different ways of communication, like writing to Him. But then again, like if you have a friend that you're talking to him every day, and you have a friend that you're just texting to each other, so you know it's not the same level of communication. It's not, your connection is not as strong. But sometimes it's better to keep in touch with texts and messages than not to be in touch at all. So you can write letters to Hashem. You can write down prayers, you can write down your requests. Sometimes you can think about Hashem, you can do certain things that will bring you closer. But the highest and most elevated and powerful and useful way of communication and connection to Hashem, to the Creator, is through a simple conversation, that you speak with Him like you speak to your best friend, in the most honest and sincere way of them all. I'm going through days trying to build up my next conversation with you guys, and always when I come in front of the camera, so the Creator puts the words that He wants me to speak with you, and not what I wanted to speak about. But it's okay, Baruch Hashem. We're trying to do God's will, but I'll just honestly share with you that I had much more to say, and that I was willing to say. I was very happy that one of my assistants posted a video that I gave last year about Moses before of the holiday of Pesach. And if you have time, and if you haven't watched it yet, so I suggest for you to watch it. Moses is not only a person. Moses is a very clear and bright reflection of God's will from all of us. And we really, 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 really need to connect ourselves, really must connect ourselves to Hashem through Moses, because Moses was a real messenger of God. He really nullified himself completely to Hashem. He really gave everything he could, and he did not complete his mission because there is a godly plan for all the souls to come down to earth and to born and reborn as many times as they need for their completion. And because that Moses generation was not ready for the complete redemption, because the complete redemption will take place in the precise moment that is set for it by the will of God, from ancient time, from earliest days, from the ideal idea of how the world will work. So Moses was not able to reveal all the light, and 1 out of 50 portions of purity was hidden from him, and he tried to achieve that portion as well. That is the portion that represents the completion and the perfection of wisdom that will bring the redemption to take place, the complete redemption, the eternal redemption, like I explained last week as well. And but the fact that Moses was not able to complete it does not mean that Moses was not fully there to do his mission correctly and perfectly. And he was a real person to admire, a real holy man to follow. And I know that I have many followers that have different background than simple Judaism, traditional Judaism, and I can understand that. But I would suggest to everyone to go back to the source and to try to understand a little bit about this person Moses, and to try to relate and to connect yourself to his real character, to his real mentality, because he was the person that was chosen by God to deliver the Torah and to redeem our holy nation, the nation of Israel, from their prison of slavery in Egypt. And he was Isha Elokim, Moshe Isha Elokim, the man of God. And he was in a higher level, the most elevated level that any prophet was, and he achieved things only because of his complete dedication. And the person will never reach high levels if not because of his real true effort in the right way. Many people can pretend and act like they're putting a lot of effort, but their effort will not carry no kind of blessing, and their effort will not bring them to no prosperity and to no success, because they're putting their effort in the wrong direction, not in the right direction. They're putting their effort while keep being not honest, and while keep being not really truthful. And when you just open a business or something like that, maybe you can maybe it can work out. Maybe people won't see that you're a liar. Maybe people won't see that you're selfish. But when your business is the business of Torah, when your work is the work of God, so then lies and tricks and scams will never work for you. and you will just be left out without the blessing because you're rejecting it with your own hands while choosing to live in a lie. So Moses was not like that, and Moses was a real man of truth, and Moses was ready and up to every rebuke and every teaching and every lesson from heaven. And in the hardest hours he was ready to hear the truth, and except for doing more tshuva and to take more responsibility on himself and to be ready to sacrifice himself for the general public of his nation and of the complete world, of the whole wide world, he didn't do anything. He never argued, he never fought, he was never hard and stubborn in front of God. He was always humbling himself and taking the lesson and being quiet against his enemies and trying to understand what can he do to take full responsibility and to fix from his spot, from his point of view, and from his end. And he left us with the Torah that is talking to us in every moment and moment of our life. The Torah is talking to us and calling us all to come back to heaven and to work on our midot, on our attributes, and to become better people. But we need to remember that the tests that we are being tested by heaven are a must and are important, and there is no way to pass them without getting into them and really doing the best that we can to correct and fix ourselves. A person will not be able to pass tests just because he chooses to ignore them. And any test that you're not passing is a level and an illumination, an aspect of purity and holiness that you will miss forever and will not come back to you. If you're not going to go back and correct it and fix it, you will not ever be able to pass that test and to rise and to complete your mission. The way to do it and to correct it is by doing tshuva and by trying to fix things that you know that you ruined with the people that you ruined and spoiled it with them. So sometimes a person should go out of his comfort zone and to try to correct and to fix. And sometimes the test is that you will be humiliated and rebuked and rejected by the heavenly light for you to express your will in a stronger way. And the test will be that you will be rejected and will be thrown out for a certain while. And if you're going to stay stubborn and positive, so finally the good salvation will take place and you will be accepted and loved and blessed. But again, it will always depend only on the true intention of your heart and the real honest effort of your actions. This is why I recommend to learn more about Moses and to put your mind a lot about the characters and the manners and way of behavior of the real true righteous ones that the Bible and the 24 books of it are telling us about their actions. So I really recommend to learn the Bible stories and the amazing actions of our ancestors and to learn from them as a real good role model and example for our lives to know how to fix ourselves and correct ourselves. May the blessing of heaven hover upon us all in those complex days with the coronavirus plague that is running and going wild in the streets and thousands of people are dying. on daily basis around the world, and it's very painful and very complex and very hard, and we need to pray for the sake of our siblings that are under pain and judgments and fear, and may the heavenly blessing heal all the sick and bring relief and great news to the whole wide world, for everyone to be redeemed and to complete our tshuva and to do good things. Thank you. Please support our work through the donation button that you can see on the screen right now on Facebook, or go to our website emunah.com and help us to spread the light among all our loved ones, all the Creator's children, and like we said, may all our prayers be answered in no time. Amen.
The world does not exist, because Olam Milshon Ne'elem, the world is just blocking the light of truth. The world called Alma Deshika, world of light, is just a fake. We're just inside of an illusion. It's just a fake. We're just inside of an illusion.
We're just inside of an illusion.